Joining me now is Jake Braun. He's the former Principal Deputy National Cyber Director during the Biden administration and now the CEO of the consulting firm Cambridge Global Advisors. Jake, great to have you here. You know, Hegseth and other Trump administration officials say they've provided evidence in classified briefings to lawmakers saying that these are drug boats. Why not publicly release that evidence here?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a broader question of what's the point of all of this, particularly aside from one boat versus another. That hasn't really been made clear to us. And for example, in the war on terror, the military blew up boats all the time and nobody asked why this one or that one. But we knew what the point was. It was to end terrorism. So no president's going to end criminality. So what is the point of all this? Is it to end fentanyl? That would be great. But it's unclear what the point of all these strikes are. And I think the public needs to know at least that.
And based on your experience, is there any sign, do you think these strikes are successful in stopping illegal drugs like fentanyl from coming to the U.S.?
If he's trying to do a shock and awe campaign, that would make sense. But no, one boat here and one boat there is not a strategy. You need a full-on counter-network strategy like we used in the war on terror, not a kingpin strategy, for example. So think Al-Qaeda versus Al Capone, but a counter-network strategy like we used against Al-Qaeda versus what we used against Al Capone involves things like what we did in Blue Lotus, where we launched multiple treasury sanctions against Chinese chemical companies, most wanted actions from the State Department. DEA took out dozens of senior Sinaloa cartel affiliates, and then we at DHS, via HSI and CBP, seized thousands of foot soldiers and pounds of fentanyl and tractor trailers and so on and so forth. So having an integrated strategy like that can reduce fentanyl deaths like we all want. When we did this, it brought fentanyl deaths down to 37% in 2024, down 37% in 2024. But we need to see an integrated campaign like we saw in the war on terror, not one boat here and one boat there.
Yeah, you wrote a book about your role in helping design that strategy to counter, fentanyl. Are those kind of same strategies still ongoing right now, or what do you think would be the most effective here?
Yeah, I think that by designating the cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, clearly the Trump administration agrees with that strategy. But I also think that we can't have this be Vietnam, where this just goes on forever with no end in sight. We have to have a very specific targeted outcome that we want to see. And I think that outcome, and I think most Americans want that outcome to be ending fentanyl in our communities, because that's what's killing 10 times more people than any other drug by far and away. Nothing else comes even close. And again, no president of any party can end criminality. We need to have a narrow focus on what we're trying to achieve here. And I think it makes a lot of sense, and I think most Americans would agree, it makes a lot of sense to have that be ending the sale of fentanyl in our communities.
Something many agree on, no question about that. Jake Braun, thanks so much for your time tonight.
Thank you.